Shay is like, I feel like you're like my comedy benefactor, because he's the only one who's ever invited me to perform. And I'm so glad he did, because this time he said, once I locked in the date, he goes, oh great, that's the Valentine's Day show. He's like, okay, moment of panic. And then I realized it's actually just a match made in heaven, because I've been dying to talk about loneliness. And this seems like the perfect opportunity, right? We're all lonely, right? It's not, yeah, you're gonna clap more when you feel more comfortable soon. Because we all do. I mean, I like my own company, but I get lonely every day. You know, I live alone, I work from home, I even usually like poop alone. Just take it really, it's tough. But, you know, loneliness can happen in any kind of situation, you know, even like in this room, or even if you are in a relationship, or even if you're alone, you can feel alone but not lonely, or alone and lonely. So I kind of go for one of each at different times. Because, I mean, the thing is, even if you're in a huge airport bathroom and you're pooping in a group, and it's like we still have these like walls up that we keep up between us. Like people just never really like let go. And I mean, people ask all the time, like when you are in groups of people, they're gonna say, hey, how are you? And nobody says, you don't say this, you don't go like, lonely, thank you. How are you? Because you're not a loser. But you are a loser, right? And so am I. Because we all have some version of this, whether it's like, I wish I saw my friends more often, or I feel like I'm not fully understood, or I feel like I can't quite say what I want to say. Like everyone has their own version, I think, of what loneliness means to them. Like, and no one even just says that word out loud. It's so taboo, which is really ironic because we're so built to be, what's the word? Thank you. Whatever word you were gonna say, I was saying like, yeah, that's right. I heard self-sufficient. Interconnected, you know, interdependent as well. And I feel like lonely is more the kind of word, like I've never even said it out loud, like it feels weird coming out of my mouth. Like it's more like you read it in a headline, like here's how other people feel, but I would never feel that way. Like the loneliness epidemic. So it's even weird saying it out loud. And I'm always just interested in how taboos silence us and keep us separated from other people who are actually having a really similar experience. Like, we all poop, we all get lonely, but we don't talk about any of these things. And I'm like, holy shit. These are all interconnected about the ways that we like keep ourselves in a box or keep ourselves in shame, which, you know, prevents us from really getting connected and getting that satisfaction of relationships that we want. But, you know, it's not only poops that can carry a heavy load. Like, we all do this every day. And, I mean, now that we're on a roll, I want to be honest here, because I'm sort of talking about honesty. I really didn't mean to talk about poop so much. I was just kind of minding my business, like writing about loneliness, and just all of a sudden, with no warning, a little bit about poop came out. And it felt good. It felt right. And then, you know, sometimes like the trickle can become a mudslide. And I just was going with it. I was like, yeah, taboo and loneliness and connection. And all of a sudden I just had this giant brain dump all over the page. But I was so relieved. And it's even more relieving to share it with you guys. So I'm not alone in it. I'm sitting in my own shit. So doing all of this, it was a journey. You know, I decided to write about loneliness like 3 weeks ago, and I've been doing a lot of the work since then on myself to be like, what is loneliness? What do I want to say about it? How do I feel about it? And not only that, but I need the deadline of a public appearance to journal with the accountability of preferably at least 15 of my friends to actually get me to figure my shit out. But I was just like, 3 weeks is perfect. You know, all I need to do is like read a little audiobook and a little podcast, and then I'm gonna figure out what loneliness is. I'm gonna get my own version of it, and then I'm gonna heal myself, and then I'm gonna write a funny piece that's educational about how to not be lonely anymore. So are you surprised that I was still writing like 1 hour ago? I don't know. I'm still trying to figure this out. But actually I made a lot of progress because I I did read the book, and I did listen to the podcast. And then there was just a couple other things I did, like no big deal. You know, I talked to my therapist. I talked to my life coach. Oh yeah, my business coach, and my energy healer, and my spiritual counselor, and my women's circle leader, and ChatGPT, our AI leader, and any cashier I could get while they were scanning my probiotics. They thought that was going to be a quiet activity, and it wasn't. By the way, that's all true. Sometimes comedians say that's all true, but they're lying. But I'm like, this is a real list of my real life. But anyway, I'm cured, so actually it worked. And really, here's what I discovered about loneliness. I'll share what I learned in these 3 weeks, and in the last couple hours where I was like desperately typing. A big piece of loneliness for me was I just wasn't having the kind of quality time by myself that I really needed. And I'll give you a couple examples and how I realized I can actually make this better, this quality time better. So I can just say I'm not having trouble finishing tasks by myself. I'm just a graceful little pinball, multitasking and playing this arcade game. This is fun. Do the laundry. Oh, I'm thirsty. I never drank today. Okay, get some water. Oh my God, I have to do the dishes. What about the laundry? Wait, I didn't finish the cup of, where's the cup of water? So that would be fun. And then there's also the piece where I could imagine that my whole life is like this magical vanishing act, where, I don't know if you guys have heard of like object permanence. Does anyone here have ADHD? Yeah, I know. I took out a look at you. Where it's like, all of a sudden I'm like, the world doesn't exist. And then it just might all just be I'm high masking autistic, or I think I'm high masking, that means you're covering it up, but I'm actually not. My friends can let me know if I'm masking well or not. So I don't know what my mental health situation is, but I know for sure I got the combo neurospicy family pack deal. You know, like I must have been like as a fetus in the drive-through being like, hi. Yeah, where's the wheel? Where's the steering wheel? I like the mental health family-sized dinner combo, please. Because you didn't think my family was normal, right? They're not. And yeah, everything on it. I'm still doing the act out. It's hard with the paper. Oh yeah, everything on it. Oh, the dessert has dopamine in it and sprinkles. Yeah, throw them in. No, it's not a party, it's just utensils for one, please. I'll drive away. But seriously though, I really have come so many steps forward, and I wasn't planning to talk about poop. I was just gonna say loneliness, Valentine's Day, the real shit. And then I realized, I'm not making that as a joke, because that's a stupid joke. But I'm glad that you laughed, I think it's funny too. My comedy teacher didn't like it. She goes, don't talk about poop so much. She's gonna see this recording. I'm like, listen, I did, and I loved it. And so did they. All right, so then I realized I'm not gonna talk about just loneliness. I actually want to talk about loneliness through the metaphor of poop, which you heard about. And then I realized I'm not just talking about loneliness, I'm talking about the loneliness of neurodiversity through the metaphor of poop. And what I didn't realize when I started writing is on it. Yeah, oh yeah. I wrote like 20 pages for this, but I'm not gonna do them tonight. And I was like, if the whole tell that I'm dying to talk about poop on stage didn't tell me that already, I guess I'm really missing it, and I'm asking to myself. Well, I got one more thing to say. I always say that and it's never true. Even in meetings, I said it today, I was like, can I ask you one more question? And he's like, yeah. I was like, oh shit, I have more. Okay, because I want to talk now about what's great about being alone. Like whether you're neurodivergent or you're an artist or anything, there's some experiences you really only can have when you're alone. It's how you can really fully self-express. You can be your whole unique self. You can do your art and your creation. We can dream. And yeah, and I'm gonna say it, we can poop. Yes, that's when you're most alone, that's when you poop. And the thing is, pooping is one of the most, I'm not done with the poop, because it's one of the most personal expressions, and that's why I love this metaphor, because our poops could form an art gallery as unique as we are. And if you imagine the object labels, they could list out the materials, the biochemical process, the culture, like the story, the lifestyle of the person, and like every gallery would be amazing. It tells really the story of who you are. And although your poop might not have your fingerprints all over it, each poop is your unique signature. I mean, whether it's sort of like a long, like looping, beautiful John Hancock, or if you accidentally, like your pen kind of leaks, then it's more of like an ink blot. Or sometimes you're like, I'm dying to sign, but like, I just have writer's block, and it's just kind of like an ellipsis, like kind of like a dot, dot, dot. You know, I once heard a coach who was trying, you're not surprised that I'm saying that, I have a coach, another coach, who was trying to sound wise by quoting somebody wiser, who said, intimacy is into me, you see. Now imagine when you stand up from pooping and you look behind you, the sweetest smiling little toilet bowl reminding you what intimacy is. And look how open it is, showing you everything there is to see. So the next time you poop, look before you flush and appreciate how special you are. And don't forget that everybody poops, so no matter what your experience is, you're never alone, even when you're at your shittiest. So my message for you this Valentine's Day is I want you to celebrate your loved ones, but don't forget to celebrate your own shitty ass. Thank you.